Hul'q'umi'num. Good morning once again. Before we get started, we want to take just a moment and just take a deep breath and soak this day in. This is a historic day, and be very honored that you are here today. So just take that deep breath. Hi, Sepka, to everyone here. We're going to move on now to the formal portion of this morning. And we're going to start with our drumming in ceremony, and I'm going to welcome Acting Chief Bill Yoakum as we get started. Hi, Sepka.
Hi, Sepka, to Gary and my nephews, drumming this in. Good morning, respected guests, Alquan, dignitaries, the beautiful people of Snuneymuxw, and the beautiful people of the city of Nanaimo. Wow, this is amazing. I don't know what to say. We have an amazing day lined up. And my name is Bill Yoakum, Acting Chief, Snuneymuxw. Brother Mike, Chief Wise, is on the mend. He sends his love to everyone. He'll be back in the saddle shortly. He's on the mend from heart surgery. So he wanted me to share that. He sends his respect and love to everyone in attendance today. At this time, I'd like to call upon Snuneymuxw Elder, our Auntie Lolly Good. She's going to open up the day with good heart, good mind. So I'm going to hand the floor over to Auntie Lolly. Hi, Sepka.
Ait square, ait quinisi lamnala, and the pet, shite sowat, lolly good tennis, honitamath nasquish, tenison at Snuneymuxw, equemlo at seashell. Good day, it is good to see you all. After I do the blessing, I'm going to be singing a song. Before I begin, I ask that you think worldwide, all frontline workers who risk their lives on a daily basis in support of their cities, their towns, and their communities. I also like to acknowledge Chief Mike Wise, who is not with us, but I'm sure his heart is with us. I also acknowledge Nanaimo City Mayor Leonard Krogh. CSAT CM, Haijka atanakwel, Thichwam, Lalamathat, Atakikalis, Ikaki, Mostayuch, Haijka, Atasaltans atanakwel, Thichwam, we at slachen, Atalatems, Sisal CM Thichwam, At Watalchos atanakwel, Itamaxquel, Stilatnumste. Creator, thank you for this day. Please look after those who are grieving and for those who are sick. Thank you for the food today. Please bring blessing and medicines to our tables. Creator, please help us all today and every day. Nihai. I dedicate this song for all those who may have not gotten healing. Sorry, before I begin, I'm very grateful to have my granddaughter, Titit Solwat, standing with me today. Thank you. Isan utati wias, Isan utati wias, Anina ahe, Anina ahe, At wathams the CM, At wathams the CM. Anina ahe, Anina ahe, Anina ahe, Anina ahe, Anina ahe, Hajgana sien. Nastalich.
Thank you, Auntie. Before we proceed with the day, I just want to introduce the folks that were drubbed on the stage today that play a key role in today. Many play a key role, but the folks behind us were the leadership to make today possible on the second Truth and Reconciliation Day. Standing behind my right, Brother Noel, son Richie, that made the amazing piece of art you walked through that was unveiled this morning. So let's hear a round of applause for Noel Brown. And that piece is in partnership from Nanaimo of reclaiming the land and sharing the land with all the fine folks in our territory. And couldn't think of a better thing than bridging people together than through sport and convening for activities and ceremonies as such. So every time people will walk into the stadium district, they're gonna walk through that beautiful piece. Beside Noel is the mayor, city Nanaimo mayor, Mayor Leonard Krogh. And Leonard has been very instrumental of bridging the relationship between Nanaimo and the city and making this all possible from the city's hat. So please welcome Mayor Leonard Krogh. Beside the mayor is the Minister of Health and Addictions and Mental Health. I probably butchered that up. Please welcome our MLA and Minister Sheila Malcolmson. Next is Sheila, is our Member of Parliament out there battling in the trenches for us out there in Ottawa. Please welcome Lisa Marie Barron. Part of the relationship that made all this possible between Nanaimo, the city of Nanaimo, and the school district 68 has been a champion of bridging all the people and communities together as well. Please give a warm welcome to School District 68 Chair, Charlene McKay, Board Chair, Nanaimo Ladysmith Public Schools. Standing next to Board Chair Charlene McKay is a friend of Nanaimo, a friend of reconciliation, an advocate of everything that is right and what we have to do. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senator Jane McCallum to our territory. These fine folks will be sharing a few brief words in a short time, so please again, a warm welcome to the folks that are on the stage this morning. Thank you. We stand before you and each and every one of you today, this Nanaimo people. We stand, our ancestors are standing with us to make today possible. And we want to just share our commitment and share the lands with you that you'll reside on. We're here over a heavy subject called history. We're here for those that never made it home. And we're here for those that survived the horrors of residential school. So at this time, can we please take a moment of silence to remember those that never made it home, and for those, the survivors as well. So please, can we please have a moment of silence? Thank you for your respect. At this time, I'm going to call forward Snuneymuxw Elder Yvonne Rigsby Jones. Snuneymuxw Elder and Auntie Yvonne Rigsby Jones. The floor is yours. Right here.
Because then I can take Melvin to the front. Oh, there's Mike right there. Oh, yeah. Okay. We need one up front. Mike. If we could have just one moment to get organized, I am here for two reasons. One, I'll speak briefly about reconciliation, and we also have two very special guests from Snuneymuxw. But one is in a wheelchair, so we'll move to the front of the stage. Hul'q'umi'num. Good morning, everyone. My name is Yvonne Marie Simpson Rigsby Jones. I'm the daughter of the late Mildred Isabel White Simpson. Very strong Snuneymuxw woman. My dad was Dave Simpson. First generation born in this country, so I'm a mixed blessing and have the gifts of walking in two worlds. And there's many strengths and many challenges of that. And before I start telling you the story of Melvin and his brother Stan, I'll also share a little bit about reconciliation and intergenerational issues. And it won't be a boohoo story, because we're also here to celebrate our survivors. And I'm going to ask you today to not make wearing an orange shirt a one-day event, but to really know and understand that living with kindness and compassion really needs to be every day. That residential schools were invented to break down the family structures of our Indigenous people, and they did a pretty good job. And so for many years now, we've been working hard in recovery to recover. And many, many families have done a really good job. Our education levels have really recovered. And a little bit about me. It's not about me, this is about Melvin and his brother Stan. And what I'm asking is that through education, which is happening now in schools, most children know about Orange Shirt Day, is that because of the damage that was done and the recovery that's necessary for people to regain balance from the harm from residential schools, that we have so many people still struggling, that when you see people that are struggling, that you view them with compassion and understanding that they were hurt, and that maybe your worldview can shift a little bit. And that's what I ask. And so we're here now to celebrate. And so my heart's happy to see so many people. And through education, that worldview is changing. And I'm excited about that. And I'm so happy to see so many people here to celebrate. And that's what I'm looking forward to. Grandma White used to tell us, you be kind to one another. And that's what I look forward to for our children and our grandchildren. And I raise my hands to each of you who have come to celebrate today. Hul'q'umi'num. And now I'll switch my channel to why Melvin's sitting here today, and Stan, who has joined us. So I'm going to ask everyone, as Bill said earlier, let's take a big breath. And what I think a lot of people in our community and in our own Snuneymuxw community don't know, and I can attest to this because I spent my adult life working in a supplement treatment center in the addictions recovery world. And part of that was helping people recover from addictions and trauma. And we have two heroes in our community, unsung heroes. Melvin and Stan Good were the first two men that started a court case that charged a dorm supervisor in Canada, way before Phil Fontaine, the national chief. And I don't think people know that. They were brave. They were courageous. Stan said, I can't take this anymore. I can't take this pain anymore. And they went to the RCMP. They're heroes. Because from that, and I can attest to this because I worked on the committees that branched from their courage. From what they stood up to came what they called the settlement agreements, because they charged Arthur Henry Plint, and he went to jail. But that doesn't take away their robbing of their innocence, all the terrible things that happened to them. But from their courage came the settlement agreements, came what's still in place today for the counseling for survivors and their families. That all stemmed from the courage of Melvin Stan. So basically, I just want, it was my son, I'll give this to you in a second, Mel. It was my son that said, Mom, we've never celebrated Mel and Stan. He works in the field now, too. He said, I'm never going to the family business, Mom, but guess what? He's a counselor now. And he said, we have never, ever celebrated Mel and Stan in Snuneymuxw for what they stood up, and they did. My husband, John, also was part. There were 18 men in that first trial. But it was Mel and Stan. Stan phoned John and said, John, will you join us? And he did. My husband's John Jones. And they were magnificent. And it was painful. It brought up their old memories. But they were magnificent. And from that, other people joined across the country. People still are benefiting from the counseling. And I just would like our people in Snuneymuxw to know of our local heroes. hul'q'umi'num.
Okay. Hello. Hello. Juanito. Sa alakwa. Sa alakwa means you are my brothers and sisters. Asim, Isim, sa alakwa. Brothers and sisters, I ask you who you are. You're very important to all of us. There's two ladies I want to honor with my heart. Does Mandy have Indian name?
Oh, does Mandy have an Indian name? Is she here? Cetacia. Cetacia. Oh, no. Oh. Yeah, does she have an Indian name? Yeah.
Mandy, could you come?
Mandy?
Auntie Mandy?
What's your almost name?
Yetestinat.
Yeah? This is your testament. Lord, reserve. My heart goes to her. My heart should honor her today. I want to honor Mandy. Tonight. This lady teaches our language to us. Tonight, I'm very proud of you. To let you know, I was in an Indian school 7 years. Seven years. I want to honor my sister, Kim. Here's my nurse. Yeah, help me.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you.
The Indian school is in here every day.
Thank you, Mel.
The Indian school helped me bear. Every day is in my heart.
Haichka Mel.
No.
And my culture.
Gonna blanket him. They're gonna blanket you now, Mel. What I've learned too now is that the future belongs to our children. And if we work, natsama aitzqualoan, one heart, one mind, and if we continue to work together in our healing with kindness and love, and we'll never allow our children to be mistreated. And if you work with our children and know that our children have most likely been affected and are what we call intergenerational survivors, please have compassion and learn what you can about residential school. Know that you may have to, well, learn what you need to. Know and understand what their experiences at home may be and help them with love and understanding. Let's all have a good rest of the day celebrating our survivors. Haichka, thanks.
Thank you, Auntie Yvonne. Much love there, Brother Melvin. Before we call up artist Noel Brown to talk about the unveiling this morning, I'm going to call forward Kay Coplano and my nephews here. They're going to come up here and let's see what they're up to. Come on up here, boys. I think these ones work. Do they?
Good morning, everybody, or almost afternoon. I just want to say that, it's an honor to be here and see everybody, all the people here today. And, our songs are medicine, and they go back thousands of years. They come with thousands of years of strength from our ancestors, and they ground us. So I want to share a song that was composed by a gentleman from our community, and he sits on our council table. A song composed by Darren Good, and it's the celebration song. If you feel the need to get up and move or dance or jump around, we're going to sing this song. We're still here today because our ancestors were strong and resilient. I'm here today, because my grandparents survived the residential school system, and we're continuing to break cycles. All my years growing up, I never ever heard from my dad. I never ever heard him say, "I love you." I'd always tell him I loved him, and he could never say it back. I knew he loved me. And it was the same thing with my grandparents. And I have a daughter, and I always tell her I love her. And she says it back to me, and my dad is 68 years old now, and he can finally say it back to me, and it made me the happiest person in the world to hear my dad tell me he loves me. So to continue to break cycles, is the biggest thing for anybody. We only have room to grow, and we're going to continue to grow. So me and my nephews are going to share the celebration song. hul'q'umi'num.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, nephews. The two young ones there are Chief Wise's two sons. He's got three, but that's Alan and James here today. So it's Chief Wise boys there with Kate Campano with Gary. Let's give them one more welcome, please. At this time, I'd like to call upon artist Noel Brown to talk about the significance today and the unveiling of the beautiful piece you'll walk by today. So I'd like to call upon Brother Noel. And son Richie, it looks like. Anyone? Your mic? It's all you.
I'll go to the shorter one. Asiem natswomoch, asiem mastimoch, asiem tishwalakwa, antipat yitsetsa, tanita Snuneymuxw. I'm Noel Brown from Nanaimo. Thanks everybody for coming. I was fortunate enough not to have any of the residential school, and a lot of my family never talked about it, so I was sort of shielded from it. Grew up. I did get in a lot of trouble in school, but it wasn't. It was for being a sort of a little ass, which I still am. But I just want to say it's great to be a little part of this day, and I thank everyone for coming. Yeah, and we're all getting along. Every year gets better and better. And I'd just like to sing a little song for you guys. But I'd like for Richard Harding, Scott Saywell, and Lisa to come up, because they put up with me doing the sign up front there, and I'm not too easy to get along with sometimes. Here comes Richard. All right, thanks everybody for coming. I'm going to sing you a little song. Thank you.
Thank you, Noel. Yes, we have more speakers, which some of you are probably like, really? But we do. And thank you for your patience in respecting the process and the protocol of today. And there's people that deserve to speak that have made today possible, and all year long possible, and pushing and recognizing the reconciliation, which we have a long ways to go, but we're off to the right way with the champions that are about to speak, and pretty soon will be a capital R. So at this time, I please call upon, from City of Nanaimo, Mayor Leonard Krogh, please.
Good morning, everyone. I firstly want to recognize we are gathered on the traditional territory of the Snuneymuxw First Nation. And as MLA and Minister Malcolmson said to me, so did you ever think you'd see a morning like this at this place with this many people? and I don't suppose many of us did. And that's what makes it extra special. I want to extend my best wishes to the missing person here today, and that's Chief Mike Wise, who's been mentioned earlier, who is a great leader for his people and in this community. I also want to recognize something Yvonne Rigsby-Jones didn't say this morning. I knew her parents very well, Mildred and Archie. And I always want to honor her mother, because in a ceremony performed near the school, with so many students here today, she was the first Indigenous woman hired by School District 68. And that was a very long time ago. I want to recognize the presence of my council here this morning, the members of the Board of Education, the members of Snuneymuxw Council, and all of the other dignitaries who are here. I want to extend a special welcome to Senator McCallum. That's a hint for applause, folks. And she'll forgive me, but it's the only good Senate joke I know. The late Mark Rose said an appointment to the Senate was a taskless thanks. I know the good senator works hard, however, and I can see it in her face. She's worked hard for her people and to build a better Canada. And the fact is, by your presence here today, you were testimony to that. Now, Councillor Bonner, who's the only Indigenous member of our council, is going to cringe when I say this. I'm going to quote a dead old white guy. William Wordsworth, who we used to study in school a great deal, said, "The child is father of the man." I want you to think about that for a moment and what it means. The child is father of the man. What we experience in childhood makes us what we are as adults. The residential school system scarred generations of Indigenous Canadians. Some survived and became stronger and better and understood the world and the cruelty of it and fought to fix it. Others were destroyed and killed by it. But it is part of our country's history and our past. And when we gather here today, we are here to honor the children who suffered in that system and recognize what it did to them and their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren. But this is also a moment of reconciliation, an opportunity to do better, an opportunity to recognize the importance of doing better. One of my wise friends, Dr. Tom Perry, I served in the Ledge with him a very long time ago. His brother said to him, "The best thing we can do for our children is to give them a happy childhood." And I would think, yes, the parents here understand and the grandparents. Give them a happy childhood. It's not going to be a perfect childhood, and there will always be suffering and pain and sorrow and cuts and bruises and emotional damage. But if we can give our children a happy childhood, they will be better people and they will build a better country. And I want to pay particular credit this morning to School District 68 for the incredible work it has done with our Indigenous community, working hard to ensure that the people in our community in particular, I'm not going to talk about British Columbia or Canada or the world, what they have done in our community to make our children understand the history. That is just so completely important. I want to pay tribute to all of you who continue to work with our children to give them that happy childhood, to ensure that we will build the kind of country and community that we can love and value and be proud of and speak with in pride. So I honor all of you this morning for coming out today, for demonstrating that sense of commitment and compassion and community and recognizing what brings us here today and why we are here. I'm proud to be mayor of a city that is working so hard with a very active, progressive, and caring council in Snuneymuxw First Nation and the Board of Education, that we will come together and continue to come together on occasions like this, not just to celebrate, but in all the hours and days and weeks in between, when we will work to make this a community we will all be proud of. Thank you this morning to all of you. Bless all of you. Hul'q'umi'num.
Thank you, Leonard. At this time, I proudly call upon Charlene McKay, Board Chair, Nanaimo Ladysmith Public Schools. Please a warm welcome to Charlene. Thank you.
Only a couple of times a year I write my notes. Today is one of those days. Like squale, OCM, Nashalquan, Siemna Shqualaqua, Siemna Siaya, Iquana Silam Nala, Tisiatala Tash Nanemok, Mustimok, Nihaqua Shasta Tamakatanaquel, Anthapa Wichiminas. Good day, honored elders, family and friends. It's good to see you all. I give my highest gratitude to the people of Snuneymuxw on whose beautiful territory we're gathered this morning. My traditional name is Owichiminas, and my English given name is Charlene. It's an honor to be here with you all today. I want to thank all of the people that opened this morning, the people that spoke before me, and those that witnessed the ceremony this morning of the unveiling of the art that many of you saw as we came in. Thanks to Noel for the art. All of the songs and drumming, those allow us to be here in a good way as we spend time together. We're gathered on the day for Truth and Reconciliation to honor the children and also a Snuneymuxw way of being. The Snuneymuxw people have cared for these lands since time immemorial, and their connection to all living things, land, water, spirit, animals, and one another is at the core of who they are. The time has come for the rest of society to see this and honor this way of life that for so long was dehumanized by residential schools, government-run hospitals, and government policies like the 60s scoop that affected so many people and families. Over the course of the past few years, I've been closely watching, listening, and learning from my aunties and uncles. It's clear to me that each time they share stories with us, they share teachings with us, they show us their way of life, that they're doing more than just sharing. They're giving you the gift of a small piece of themselves. They do this with bravery, and they do this with love. I ask you, as each speaker comes up today and shares their stories with you, the songs, the dance, the performances that you'll see here later, that you honor what they share with you, and you allow that to change the way you walk in the world as you walk gently upon these lands. It'll make you better, it'll make those around you better, and it'll change our community for the better. My beloved relatives share these things with you, having survived the genocide of Indigenous people in Canada. Never forget how difficult it is for them to share. Names are a crucial step in reconciliation. Naming places traditionally is a way to honor the language and culture that has always been here. We find ourselves here today, the background of Tiktuxton. If you don't know where Tiktuxton is, I encourage you to go and learn that, because it's a familiar sight for many of us as we go through this city. To acknowledge that we've renamed the playing field behind the stadium here, Kakenishtuk. It has so much meaning. To pass back, to return. We often hear about giving back as a piece of reconciliation. It's an act of reconciliation, and sometimes we want to give so much more than we're able to, but naming is a piece that we can do. And there will be a lot of people that do not understand when we change names back to traditional words and allow that to be the example that we want to set. I know all of you are here today because you honor those changes in community, and I ask you to be brave in sharing why it's important when you hear someone say, I don't understand. By coupling the name change with the art installation by Noel, we begin to actually visibly see walking together. The school district often says we walk together, but what does that mean? It's this, it's coming together. It's standing alongside our Snuneymuxw Chief and Council, the Snuneymuxw people, Mayor and Council, and setting an example for not only our community, but the rest of the world. Siya Itzis, walking together. I'm here on behalf of the board. Some of my trustees, colleagues are here. It's our core belief and the basis of how we serve the children and students in our schools, and we can't accomplish anything alone. It's only by walking together that we can honor the children who never came home, the children of today, and the children of the future. With my deepest gratitude and thanks for each of you being here with us today, I hope that you carry a piece of today with you and it changes how you go through the world. Hai sepka CM. Kona salas ka kipa tanakwel. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlene. At this time, please have a warm welcome for Senator Mary Jane McCollum, Senate of Canada.
Tansi. What a beautiful, beautiful, I'm going to get emotional, sight. You know, when people take time to come and sit and listen, it tells us that we matter, that we always did, but we lost sight of that. At some point, I did. I'm going to say a prayer. Kitsimanitu, kinanaskumitin, kinanaskumitin nidum stay median. Kitomi wanskayan anuts, kitomi gaskitayan tapagitatamuyan. Kitom igaskitayan tawapama ta. Kitomi iwapamago aski nipi guasti kisik. Iguasti tawapamago with niwaguta kapi mama wapitik. Kinanaskomit nidum stay median. Kwesigas kita yan tamam tunidi taman, tapitaman, tawapian, tayam yan. Tayam yayan, iguasti ko yasigas kitayan, tapachitayan, chichi iguastin skata. Kitsimanitu piwitap minana nuts, tapita uyak, tawichi yak, questa taxkidi tamak, tawichi suyak, iguasti, tawichi yak. Creator, thank you for all that you have given me. Thank you for the privilege of living another day, for the privilege of drawing breath once again, for the ability to see the sky, the water, and the earth, and to see the people, the beautiful spirits that are gathered here today from all nations. Thank you, Creator, for the bounty you have given me, to be able to think critically, to see, to speak, to pray, and thank you for full mobility of my arms and legs. Creator, come and sit with us today, to hear us, and to make me realize that I need to help myself, but also that I will need your help. When I was called to be a witness today, what I saw was reclamation of our history, of our identities, our sovereignty, our language, all that was sacred with us, within us, that we had to put aside when we went into residential school. I went in at 5 and came out at 16, but you never ever, I didn't leave that building. I carried it with me in my head and what they taught me in there. The negative stuff, they took all the wealth that the elders gave me and replaced it and reshaped my identity. And at a certain point in my life, I picked up my sacred bundle, the sacred bundle that's given to every single person of your gifts, your talents, and that we start reclaiming that. And that, that renaming places which are sacred to us in our own languages is so powerful, and that is something that we as Indigenous people are doing all across Canada. So we are united, and we have so many allies, and I want to thank them for standing with us. And, and this is a day of celebration for me. It's emotional, but it's celebration because for the little children who weren't able to make it home, they would not want us to continue to be sorrowful. They were not able to express the joy, the creativity, the curiosity, the boldness, the genius that they carried within them. And that is for us now to bring out, and that we celebrate it on their behalf. And that's what you're doing here. And I wanted to say a special thank you to Auntie Joan and Scott and the mayor, the chief, the MLA, the MP, the school board, because that is reconciliation. And reconciliation, when I reconcile with my identity, it's not enough. It has to be done with the community to support us as we go. And I wanted to share with you a motion I had made as a senator on behalf of residential school students that I had brought to the floor at their request. And just a minute here. How do I get out of here? I need to go back to my... In Senate yesterday, I was on my way here. And by the way, I am so honored to be here. So very honored. Senate of Canada unanimously passed Senator McCollum's motion, officially apologizing for Canada's role in the establishment of the residential school system, as well as its resulting adverse impacts, the effects which are still seen and felt by countless Indigenous people today. And the motion that I had brought forward at the request of grassroots people, elders, states that the Senate of Canada acknowledged that racism in all its forms was a cornerstone upon which the residential school system was created. Acknowledged that racism, discrimination, and abuse were rampant within the residential school system. Acknowledged that the residential school system created for the malevolent purpose of assimilation has had profound and continuing negative impacts on Indigenous lives, cultures, and languages, and apologize unreservedly for Canada's role in the establishment of the residential school system, as well as the resulting adverse impacts, the effects of which are still seen and felt by countless Indigenous peoples today. And that was passed by all the senators yesterday on way here. So, you know, and I just want you to know that we do work for you, and that I am working with Auntie Joan and Scott on certain issues that they will be bringing to Senate. And the importance of the leadership to allow the reclamation of ourselves as beautiful spirits, that we are taking our place in society, and that we will do it with strength, perseverance, dedication that our ancestors did, and that we as living ancestors will carry that to make this a better world for all children, every single child in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. At this time, I please proudly call upon Member of Parliament for Nanaimo Ladysmith, Lisa Marie Barron. Please, a warm welcome for Lisa, please.
Squale, everybody. I'm honored to be here today on the traditional territories of the Snuneymuxw First Nations, and to be here amongst so many friends. I'm taken aback by this powerful expression of love that surrounds us here today. I'm honored to be here. In the riding in which I represent, we also have the traditional territories of the Snuneymuxw, Indigenous, and hul'q'umi'num First Nations. And I want to say a big thank you to everyone who made this happen today. The Snuneymuxw First Nations, the City of Nanaimo, my former colleagues at School District 68. It's really powerful to be standing here on below Tutuxton today with you all and sharing this moment on National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. I'm honored to be in this position as Member of Parliament, and it is a role that I do not take lightly. I want to acknowledge the work of all those prior to me that continue to pass on this baton of work. I do want to acknowledge even former Member of Parliament Paul Manley that's here today. All of the trustees and city councillors and Snuneymuxw members here today. It is imperative that we're all working together in the right direction to provide the space, I know for me, to listen to the impacts of the residential schools, the impacts on families, on language, on traditions, on culture that continues to be felt today. But to not just listen to those stories, but also to act. It is the responsibility of the government to do better, to implement the calls to action, to address the continued impacts of missing and murdered Indigenous women. My friend Lisa Marie Young went missing years ago, still with no answers today. All of these impacts, we continue to see the disproportionate impact of the disproportionate representation, of Indigenous children in our foster care system today. This is colonialism, the continuation of colonialism at work. We need to learn from our past, do better today, and put into action the recommendations that are being put forward. I'll tell you, in my position, I'm holding the government to account daily to implement what we know needs to happen to move forward. My dear friend and colleague, Member of Parliament for Winnipeg Centre, Leah Gazan, has said there is no reconciliation in the absence of justice. Unfortunately, today only 11 of the 94 calls to action have been completed and 33 have not been started or have stalled in action. And this is where I work alongside colleagues like Leah Gazan to call the government to account, to implement these calls to action. Thank you. I also want to share my commitment today to not only hold the government to account for doing better, but also to share in Ottawa the strength that surrounds us, the strength that I see from Snuneymuxw First Nation, and sharing that in Parliament. There is so much good work that's happening today. There's still so much work that needs to happen moving forward, but I want to stop and celebrate the strength and love that I'm experiencing here today, along with each of you. Today, I want to reaffirm my commitment to reconciliation and remembering that every child matters. Thank you, everyone. Hai sepka siyam.
Thank you, Lisa. At this time, may I please call upon the Minister of Mental Health and Addictions for the Nanaimo MLA, Minister Ms. Sheila Malcolmson. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Snuneymuxw friends, for hosting us today. Thank you to the elders, so many people here representing and leading in the community for such a long time. I'm Sheila Malcolmson. I'm honored to represent Nanaimo in the legislature. And along with my colleagues, MLA Adam Walker and MLA Doug Routley, who also represent in the region, and also from the Premier, we are sending our strength and healing wishes to Chief Mike Wise, and thinking of him on this day, and thinking of his mother, late Chief Viola Wise. Their leadership, I believe, is what got us to this day. We're so grateful to their family and everybody who supports them. And I think of Chief Wise, too, as a soccer player, and a lot of his family, I know they are, that this place is renamed kan kinishtuk, which is a phrase I'm told that soccer players in Snuneymuxw would say to each other, which is pass the ball, pass it to me, but also it has real connotations, which is why the name was chosen, I understand, about giving back, like giving the land back, which the BC government is doing with Snuneymuxw, and there's a lot more of that work to come. This day represents so much of that work. So I'm thinking of two stories on this day. One is back maybe more than 10 years ago. Me and Jean Crowder, who was the member of parliament representing in this region, we were in Vancouver in the final days of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearings, and we were angry. We sat beside each other listening to one family and one residential school survivor, one after the next, on the stage testifying with such open hearts, with their families with them. You'd see an elder at the microphone and their family, like layers of family with their hands on their backs. They were all weeping. We were all weeping. They were telling stories that they'd never told their own families before. They'd never talked about residential school. And the bravery and the impact of those stories, our country will never forget. It's also what got us to this day. But Jean and I were angry. After every story, we would turn to each other. We would take the Kleenexes. We were just, everybody crying. Volunteers would come with baskets, and we would put the tears everybody was crying into a sacred basket that was then burned in a sacred fire day after day after day across the whole country, but on that day in Vancouver. And we would look at each other, we would blame Stephen Harper, we would blame decades and decades of colonialism in Canada. Jean and I were so angry. And at the very end, the TRC did this beautiful thing. It was such a gift to us, is they made a video of all the students who'd been at the commission over the week it was in Vancouver. I think the organizers thought they might have maybe 1,000 students, and the teachers and the parents were so smart because they brought their classes, and there was something like 18,000 students went through the exhibits and the teachings and the seminars and the demonstrations of culture and the witnessing of stories. And those young people were interviewed by the TRC, and they told these stories that were up on, I think you can still see this video on the TRC website. I remember one teenage woman, maybe 15 or 16, she was crying, being interviewed by the camera. She said, "I never knew why my dad drank so much. I never knew why he was so angry." And that learning is going to change her life and her relationship with her dad. And then really little kids who were just furiously indignant, like the way they were so pure, their hearts. They say, "What if that happened to me and my brother? What if they didn't let us speak our language?" Like they were so righteous, these kids. And we just, remember Jean and I sitting there going, it's going to be okay because the kids get it. And that's what's going to change. That's what's going to change our country. And then the final thing I want to say, Bill, the second story I wanted to tell is last year when the confirmations of what we had always been told of unmarked graves at residential schools, the first announcement of 215 unmarked graves and the children that had gone to residential school never came home. When that news hit from Kamloops to Secwepemc, and I was in Victoria at the legislature when that happened, and I was walking by the Martin Mungo Longhouse, you know, the one that's right beside the museum in Victoria. And we were sad, we didn't know what to do with this news, but I was passing on the street orange shirts and orange shirts and orange shirts families that were leaving their neighborhoods and going to this vigil that was starting to be set up both at the legislature and at the Martin Mungo Longhouse. And I realized it was almost always like a mother, father, or two parents, and then their kids, and they're all wearing orange shirts. And that's the place I want to leave, just the thankfulness of the teachers that brought these teachings into the classroom, that the schools have been recognizing Orange Shirt Day for quite a few years now. And when the terrible news, the confirmation of taken children hit, the kids knew what to do, and they knew the stories. We have so much more to learn, but the children are teaching their families, and it makes us as a community ready. And to make a day like this is mind-blowing. To see this sea of orange shirts and to see in Nanaimo, of all places, people standing together, it gives me hope. I'm thankful for that, and I'm so grateful to stand with Nanaimo on a day like this. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, Sheila. At this time, I'd like to call upon Footprints of Wolf, Debbie Good, and daughter Lenore Hampton for a closing song. Thank you. Please welcome Debbie and Lenore. Haisapka.
Aitsquil, Tanaquil. Really, really good to be here today. First of all, I want to say Haipsapka to all the beautiful people that put this event together today. We really, really want to uphold them with a lot of respect for their courage and their ability to be guided by our ancestors, to be able to be bringing a better understanding of the colonial effects that happened here in Canada. I too am a survivor, as my mother went to day school. Thus forth, she did not teach me the language. So I myself and my children suffer due to the fact that we still have to learn our language. So first of all, I will introduce my beautiful daughter, Siabach. My most precious granddaughter, Sataya. And I'm very honored to be here. My traditional name is Simquat. We are a family drum circle from Snuneymuxw that started back in the 80s. There's more than half of us missing here today, but for those of us that are here to share our songs and our words, we're very, very honored and very, very pleased to be part of this great big celebration. At this time, I'd also like everyone to take a moment of silence just to think about our ancestors and our ancestors' journey and give thanks to our ancestors for where we are today. Thank you. I also want to share a heartfelt expression of love and gratitude to my very, very precious and awesome brothers, Melvin Good and Stanley Good, for being courageous to start off the great big journey of making this reconciliation happen. Let's hear it for Melvin and Stan. The song that we're going to share right now is called The Travel Song. It was a song that was gifted to our family from my late sister Salatia, who's gone to the spirit world, who was also a survivor from residential school. She had gotten permission from Snuneymuxw elders and from the Métis elders to make this song today happen that we're able to share. I'll start. The travel song is a prayer song for our journey in life. The travel song also reminds us that our children are a gift, that we always must remember that the children teach us as much as we teach them. So each and every day, we must always, always treat our children as gently as a flower. Those are the words from our precious elder who's gone off to the spirit world, Willie Seymour, who said that we always treated our children with love and respect. We never raised our voices at them. We never ever raised our hand to them. We love them, we cherish them. Our children are sacred and to be held sacred. Today is an opportunity for us to embrace our children as our future, but not only to embrace our children as our future, but to embrace all of the parents that have been affected by colonialism, day schools, residential schools, foster care, the 60 scoop, and also the horrific times of Indigenous children entering into the public school system was not easy. So I need to also do a special acknowledgement to all of the Indigenous peoples who have graduated high school, that gone off to post-secondary school and achieved a BA and whatever their choices were, for those who achieved a master's degree, those who achieved a PhD, those who became a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse, an RCMP officer, those who carry the teachings, our elders, our knowledge keepers, and those that keep on having the courage and the ability to step forth, to be able to say and witness, to stop racism and the colonial habits that have taken place to date. It is just a wonderful, wonderful experience that I feel loved today, that we're all here together of all races and all nationalities, because we're going to lift up all of the children of all races and all nationalities to be able to live and enjoy and feel joy and happiness with peace and understanding that we're all people. We're all human beings. Thank you. I was tongue-tied.
Sorry, she needed a water break.
Heichka. So I give thanks to my late sister in the spirit world that shared the travel song with us today. We do have another song which is called hul'q'umi'num. The song originated from my late sister Salatia and my late mother Simquat. I absolutely love and appreciate my granddaughter because we can allow her to use her voice today, in which Indigenous children were not able to.
She's not afraid to use that voice, that's for sure.
Be respectful. So the hul'q'umi'num song represents thanking the Creator, thanking our ancestors, thanking our parents, thanking our grandparents, thanking our children, thanking our grandchildren, thanking for everyone that puts events together, thanking my brothers and sisters, and all of my relatives, and all the people that are here today, and mostly thanking those who put events together and bring people together with love, trust, and honesty. Our last song we would love for each and every one of you to stand up and share the Women's Warrior song with us today. Although it is the Women's Warrior song, it's a song of hope, vision, gratitude, and compassion in love. Have you started?
Everybody in the crowd, please join us. Louder. Okay, the loudest. Just our voices.
Everybody have a beautiful day. Remember to put love in your hearts and your soul, and just have a beautiful, beautiful day, each and every one of you. We love you. My voice dried up.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Lenore. Respected guests, Sulquan, on behalf of Snuneymuxw First Nation, Chief Wise, Council, our Sulquan, our membership, we thank you for being here on this day. It brings hope. It brings life. And MLAs, MPs, dignitaries, school districts, City of Nanaimo, Mayor Krogh, Chair McKay, and most of all, the citizens of the Nanaimo. The Snuneymuxw people stand with you, and we look forward to reconciling with you as days and years in the future. So, Haisepka, thank you for being here. Much love, and have a great day. Thank you. The floor is now Dale's, and there's some more stuff happening, but I'll leave it to Dale. And please stick around if you can, because there's some amazing dance groups coming up. Haisepka.
Thank you, Bill. While we set up the stage, we just need a few more minutes, and we've got some presentations this afternoon, but I just wanted to say well done to everything that we've done so far today. But we've also got some performances from our schools. And while they set up, we're setting up the stage right now. Throughout this presentation today, we've heard some words, and you've heard people say hul'q'umi'num. I just wanted to say, does anyone know what that is? And of course, that means thank you, friend. Now, while we set up, I think we're ready to go, right? Yeah? Okay, let's do that. And while we're waiting for that, I just wanted to say that if you wanted to watch this ceremony once again, Shaw is recording that, and they're going to be playing that on Shaw. And in just a few minutes when we're all done, there's also food trucks that you can also go and grab some food. But right now, I'd like to introduce the group from Bayview Elementary.
CM, is it my phone? Doesn't seem like it's on. Is it on? Okay, there you go. CM de San Juan, CM de Siya, CM de Squalaqua, and Tlapaha Quebach, Colleen Tanash Quinitamath Nasquish, Tanitzinat Snuneymuxw. I Nishqualawin, Quinisi, Lamnala, Tanaquil, Hyde Sapka. I'd just like to share a little bit about and acknowledge my grandmother, Emily Manson. She was born in a place called Sleetlup, which is known today as Departure Bay. She was taken to residential school at a very young age, but she did not forget the hul'q'umi'num language. It is because of her that I'm learning our language. I just want to acknowledge my grandparents today, Adam Manson, Emily Manson, Pearl Charles from Tulalip, Washington. They also had residential schools in the States. I'm here today with a group of students from Bayview School, and they're going to sing a few songs. So I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm the hul'q'umi'num teacher at Bayview School, Departure Bay School, and Brecken School. Hi, Sabka.
Siem na Salchwen, Siem na Sietya, Siem na Squalaqua. And the pet Janice Wilson, Tanitzin at Prince Rupert, Iquamlach at Matlakatla, Igit Ladamix. Eatsin Mana at Sharon and Brody Wilson. Eatsin Smathan Tatatalach Tachwalmachen. Heights Efka Iquans Mitate Sultana Quail. I am the Indigenous education teacher at Bayview, and we have our Bayview drum group here. We're going to sing 2 songs for you today. The first one is the Snuneymuxw welcome song. We want to honor and acknowledge that the song has been passed on from the Snuneymuxw Salchwen, the elders, and we're honored to be able to sing it for you today. We're also going to do the Woman's Warrior song. Haichka.
Hey!
Thank you, Bayview Elementary. Up next, I'd like to introduce the Nanaimo District Secondary School dancers.
Squale. My name's Kelly Barnum, or Ms. B to some of my students. I have with me today 7 of our 30 members of the dance team. We've got Bryn, Eva, Ava, Olivia, Grace, Gabby, and Mara to perform Remember Me, a dance choreographed by Sarah Kiley and set to the music of Fawn Wood. I would like to acknowledge how honored we are to have been invited to participate in this important day. We are so grateful to the people of the Snuneymuxw First Nation for the beautiful land upon which we are able to live, learn, and create. I would also like to acknowledge that our group are merely guests on this land, and we offer this dance as a small step towards reconciliation. hul'q'umi'num.
Hey yo, hey, hey, be a way, oh, hey yo, hey, hey, be a way, oh, hey yo, hey, yo, Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky, there I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Hello, hey, hey, be a way, oh, hey, oh, hey, hey, be a way, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, be a way, oh, hey, oh, Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky, there I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Hello, hey, hey, we are waiting, oh, hey, oh, hey, hey, we are waiting, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, we are waiting, oh, Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky, there I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the so, so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Away, away, oh.
Good. Thank you once again, NDSS secondary dancers. Good job. Okay, while they're clearing up, I've got a couple giveaways here. So I see some kids sitting in the front here. I want kids to answer this question. All right, kids. First one up here. Don't yell it out. How do you say thank you in hul'q'umi'num? Come up here. I got something for you. Come on over here and say it. Okay. I want you to say it to the microphone. How do you say thank you in hul'q'umi'num?
Haichka.
Yes. There you go, buddy. Good job. Okay, they're still clearing up. I've got another one here. Let's kill a little bit more time. Okay, now who knows what the field behind us was named? It's a tough one to say. Who knows how to say it? It starts with a Q. Only kids. Adults, I know you know. Okay, I'm just going to give this one to somebody, okay? The field behind us, we just have to say, the NDSS community field is now called Kakinishtuch. Can everyone say that together? Kakinishtuch. Okay, here we go. We have now got, I believe we've got the students from Snuneymuxw to come up next.
hul'q'umi'num, Tunnaquail, Anthapat, Sean Walsh, Tanitsanut, Smithers, Nanaimo. I am of Irish, Dutch, and Indigenous descent and belong to the Mi'kmaq First Nation from Newfoundland. It is a true sign to me of truth and reconciliation to know that the Snuneymuxw First Nation has invited School District 68 into their school to co-govern and to prepare their children for the future. Together, we are working on building culture, a language, and a love of the land. Hul'q'umi'num means strong children, and we have many. Here are just a few. This is our singing group, and they can't wait to share their songs with you. Heitzepka. present the beautiful Casey Wise.
Good afternoon, everyone. Snuneymuxw. My given name is Casey Wise, and I'm from here in Nanaimo. I'm the ICSSW at hul'q'umi'num. And the first song that you heard was our prayer song. And the second song that we're going to sing is called the Snuneymuxw. And in English, that's the Lonesome Road. And the story behind the second song, our people were so strong that they could bring people back to life. And yeah, they're just learning the song, so bear with us here. Thank you. Hul'q'umi'num.
Okay, before we get to the next performer and our last performer, I noticed somebody come up here really quick, and so my next question to give away here is, what is the traditional territory on which we sit? And she ran up really quick, and she wants to give an answer, so come on up here. Okay, right into the microphone. Right in there, yeah.
Snuneymuxw.
There you go. Good job. There you go.
I was just about to leave. My sister pulled me away. And I was like,
Thank you for coming. Okay, our last performance, and then afterwards we just have some housekeeping items, so don't go away just yet. The next performance is a student from Wellington Secondary, Tulugak, and a student from Uplands Park Elementary, Annika. Come on up.
Anthopa, Tulagak, Tutiak. Raven, Payet, Tanos, Squinitzen up, Nesquish. Tunitzen up, Iqaluit. Iqumlup up, Katikni, Kuglukduk, Ottawa regions. Respect to my elders, respect to my family, and respect to my friends. My Indigenous name is Tulagak Tutiak. My English name is Raven Payet. I have 2 poems, and I have my little Naya here with me today to help me and support me. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to be a privileged race, to not scream in broken pain because I stand in the results of a colonized country, to feel free of suspicion that security guards shop owners and racists so often put on my people, who do not feel fear of the people who are supposed to protect us. It leads a racing mind. Am I breathing today because I am a result of generational trauma? This question always gets to me. Who am I as an urban Inuit? A woman, a gender-fluid boy, a polyamorous pansexual, a majority in some people's eyes. It is to my belief I was born to feel grief. This unmistakable pain to cry for the fallen, for the silenced, for the beautiful people who live with sexism, racism, transphobia, violence, and any form of bigotry, in hopes to build a better future for generations, to stop the barking noises so many ignorant people make, to let Mother Earth breathe once more, to let a space where people feel okay to feel okay to be themselves. My next poem is a little long. Thank you for listening. I'm a 16-year-old trans Aboriginal male. I am proud of my skin, of the skin I wear, the blood of my ancestors I carry. But I have yet to fully know what I am proud of. I read many books of Inuit history, most of them sharing stories of residential schools, the hurt and the pain it has caused, the verbal, sexual, and mental abuse kids had to deal with, some never seeing their families for months or years, some who couldn't survive or were murdered, some who come home to find their families gone or lost the ability to communicate with them. All of them causing a future where parents didn't let their kids go to school, where people can't get jobs. Many people who are suffering because of the past and turn into alcoholics. My birth parents are an example. That's how my five siblings got fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. In my case, it only messes with my memory. But with one of my siblings, it causes them to have seizures. The state of Nunavut right now is bad. It's the aftermath of the racist government that used religion as an excuse to turn Aboriginal people white. We are healing at a slow pace, yet the government still isn't providing a stable educational system where people can learn. Proper hospitals, affordable food that doesn't cost 3 times the average, a place with no racist police, an actual law system, and workers that will find murdered and missing Indigenous women and people. Everything I wrote down is true, and I wish it wasn't. There's more. The government doesn't provide or help, but it's too much to write down. Even with all this, Nunavut is still a happy place where I'd like to go back to and live. It celebrates many traditions and cultures. Nunavut has a terrifying past. A terrifying past that needs to be acknowledged instead of ignored, and we will always stand strong. Government systems need to change instead of worsen. I will only begin to forgive when we start making big steps towards recovery. Thank you. My knee.
Thank you, Annika. That is our next generation. Yes. And I raise my hands to you all today. I see a lot of little ones. And so you little ones who won't know anything about residential schools, ask your parents or ask your elders, and they will tell you about it. And we have to make sure that that doesn't happen again. Okay, just a few more things before you go. You notice around me, actually in this whole stadium district, there are a lot of things going on, and we have until 4 o'clock. And so I wanted to just share with you some of the things going on this afternoon. Please stay around and check out the booths as well. So in the Rotary Bowl, so this track and field area right now, there's an interactive booth. There's Nanaimo's Parks and Rec Move and Groove. There's an obstacle course just right over here. Nanaimo Track and Field Club is also here. Nanaimo Parks and Rec, the LIT group, the Quest group is here. And Pacific Sport, Vancouver Island, they have some bouncy castles over here as well. In Sir Roxman Stadium, so the baseball stadium just right over here, the Mid-Island Pirates are here, Nanaimo Museum, and there's also a concession. Speaking of concession, there's food trucks all across here. There's also some across Kakinishtuk right behind us over here, if you are hungry. In the field in Kakinishtuk, we have the Nanaimo United Football Club and the school district's lacrosse group. They're going to be hosting, and by all means, go over there, play around, have some fun. In the NDSS gym, if you want to get inside and out of this sun, there's some basketball. In the NAC, so the Aquatic Center, there's a free swim. And you can't forget about checking in with Elder Geraldine Manson. She's doing a storytelling in the NAC as well. In the Ice Center, the Salish Storm is there. There's a free skate, and then there's also a concession in there if you're hungry. Just before we close, I just wanted to, I'd like to raise my hands to the ancestors who gave us this beautiful day. Let's please just a round of applause. This couldn't have been any more perfect. And I also want to just thank the planning committee. So first off, from Snuneymuxw, Kate Good, if you're here, Kate, just wanted to say your leadership on the planning committee never wavers, and you always keep us in the right direction, so thank you for that. And I do want to thank all of Snuneymuxw for having us here as we continue this day. The city of Nanaimo was also a big part of this planning process, and so those in, well, they are wearing orange shirts just like you, but they also did a very good job in planning this. And then, of course, at the end, the school district in which I'm a part of and very honored to do so. Again, thank you everyone for coming. Enjoy the rest of your day, and all the best. Take care.